Go ahead, caller.
Yes. My comment is, I understand that there is another state university which is in violation of JSU. According to law, there is only supposed to be one state university, and the...
What law is that now? Give us the law so we know.
I beg your pardon?
Give us the law so we know what, you know.
Okay, right, because this is worth investigating, because if this is investigated and it is true, then this is what the governor should do, is close that particular university down, and that would increase the funds for the historically black universities. Mm-hmm. And another thing that the governor...
Do you know the name of the university is in violation?
I think it's Mississippi State. I think that they have a location somewhere in the city of Jackson. And it is in violation of state law. By law, another state university cannot be encroached against another university.
I think it's in Meridian, isn't it?
In this particular case, it's JSU that they're encroaching upon. And also, the governor needs to consider that a lot of his tax base is disappearing, not only in this state, but all over the nation because of the illegal aliens. Because there are more than
what's your question, Carla? What's your question?
Aliens in the nation, and they're non-tax-paying citizens, and a lot of these companies are hiring them so that these companies don't have to pay taxes.
But Carla, we don't need a speech now. Carla, we don't need a speech. Just ask what's your question.
These taxes, and that's...
Go ahead, Carla, you on there.
I wanted to ask a question.
Yeah.
Why did President Mason come out publicly opposed to the merger and then working behind the scenes to merge the two universities? Why was that?
Okay, that's a good question. Let me see if I can explain the difference. I came out publicly against the governor's proposal because I do not think it's a good idea to force Alcorn and Valley to become a part of Jackson State. I think in the long run that would never work. Now, I was not working behind the scenes to make a merger happen. I was working behind the scenes to get black folk to the table to talk about the challenges that we have, the threats to the future of our schools, and how we're going to address those threats. Now, I had an idea that I think is a good idea, candidly, but I wasn't selling the idea. It was just an idea that I was telling people I had as one way to solve the problem, but I never pushed it as a bill, and I never tried to get anybody to support it. I was just trying to explain, look, I've analyzed this thing, and we don't have a whole lot of options, and it seems to me that if we don't find a way to work together, there's a good chance we could end up dying apart.
But your option is one of the worst options that could ever be presented.
Well, maybe it is, and I understand that people hate the idea, but the truth is it's the only idea I got. And, the thing that's bad about it, I guess, is that people really do want to stay purple, green, and blue, and I get that, but on the other hand, to me, building a great black university in Mississippi, there's 14,000 students that can go toe-to-toe with the big white schools in the state, to me, is just not a bad idea. I don't think it's a sellable idea, but I'm not sure it's a bad idea.
Have you considered the problems? How can you house 14,000 students? Where would they stay?
Well, we'd have, if you want to know how I'm thinking it through, we'd have 3 campuses. Each campus would have a very specific role. I think we could do creative things to help, better help lift up the students that come to us that are not yet ready for college. I think we could use the Valley campus as a special campus to put service-type students out there, public health, social work, sociology, who can earn credits while they're there and also provide services to the Delta. And that way we make sure that instead of losing enrollment at all of the campuses, we have students going to each campus every year, fresh faces. We'd be solving problems that we need to solve, and we candidly tighten up our finances and tighten up our politics, because then every black elected official in the state would be working to build one strong black institution. But the idea is off the table because I understand that it just can't fly.
Go ahead, Carl, you on there.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead, you on there, go ahead.
All right. Good talking to you, Charles. Dr. Mason, I got a question for you.
Okay.
And this is something that I heard allegedly. Now, are you trying to reach the president emeritus status, and I may be saying this incorrectly, and then walk away because you would still get paid for that? Now, would you elaborate on that?
Sure. I'll tell you the truth. I just made 10 years, and after 10 years, the board, when I retire, can grant me emeritus status. But to be honest with you, when I came in 10 years ago, I didn't ask for tenure, which is something I could have asked for. And I'd like the board to give me emeritus status, as soon as I'm eligible, so that when I do retire, I won't have to worry about that happening. That's just trying to get security in my life. But what I've told people is this, that, that I could see spending the next 10 years of my life trying to build a strong black economic and educational institution in Mississippi. I think that would be really good work to do. But if we can't come up with answers on how to deal with these budget cuts, how to deal with the national questioning of the value of HBCUs, how to stop, what I see as real problems coming for us down the line, then I don't want to sit here and watch Jackson State become the University of Mississippi at Jackson, just called Jackson State.
Okay.
Yeah. And
I have one other question. I'm going to let you go because I know there are other callers.
Go ahead.
But there was another allegation that you spoke at a Rotary meeting and said Jackson State looks like a white campus.
That's not what I said.
Is that true?
No, what I said was that the students say, and they do say this, that Jackson State looks like a white campus.
Well, and my thing is, and I'm old school.
Yeah.
And I am happy that I went to Jackson State.
Yeah.
I love the fact that I went to Jackson State, and I love the fact of our quote-unquote blackness or this, that, and the other. But I'm just having problems. If you're looking to the future, you want to have a trump card in your pocket and saying, okay, if this doesn't work out, we have elections coming up in I think next year, where we may have a whole new House and a whole new Senate.
Right.
And this bill may come up again. Is there anything, as you were presenting, that this is an idea?
Yeah.
Is there anything that could have been presented to say, okay, let's keep these three institutions open?
Open? Well, look, I'm not talking about closing them. Let's get that clear.
No. What I'm saying, without merging, without each one having their own identity.
Well, look,
I understand the financial constraints, but the question that I'm asking is,
I understand the question.
The time that one took to put a proposal for quote unquote Jacob State University, could there have been time to put in place a quote unquote way to preserve all of these universities and their unique identities?
Well, look, here's where I'm at on this, because you got to understand, this is all I think about, okay? I deal with these issues of how to save our schools. And look, I love Jackson State, but I also love Alcorn and Valley, because to me, we all educate the same students. But I've been here 10 years now, and candidly, I've given up on looking for magic money to drop from the sky. I don't think that folks are going to wake up one day and say, you know what, we ought to do right by these schools. I don't think somebody is going to die and leave us $500 million.
Well, there's a key member at Jackson State right now that loves the Alumni Association, and he mentioned that if everybody that attends or that even attended, whether they graduated or not, could give $10 a month, with $120 a year to Jackson State or to any of the other two schools, we wouldn't have this problem.
Absolutely. And look, when I first got to Jackson State, we started the Faith Fund. And the Faith Fund is $10 a month. If we could get everybody to give $10 a month, we wouldn't have this problem. But the truth is, less than 5% of the alumni give something back. And I'm not blaming them, because I know a lot of our alumni are hardworking people that need their money. But I've tried everything I could try, and I think we've done really well with what we had to work with at Jackson State. All I'm saying is that, look, I think we can do better.